I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Rima, Danielle, Jomaa. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm amazing. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I am excellent. Thanks for asking as well. Great pleasure to connect with you, to have this conversation. What part of the world are you in right now?
I am in Malpais, Costa Rica. So just on the tip of a little peninsula here, so I can hear the ocean. It's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, I love the background songs that you allow through your podcast. I let the cat out of the bag too quickly. So tell me, which of your talents is responsible that you've been operating in for us to connect at this particular time?
Yes, well, that would be my podcast, the Rima the Jungle Girl podcast.
Oh, there we go. So who did you learn the skills necessary to do what you do by sharing the story you share on your podcast?
That's a good question. I learned the skills from all kinds of different places, from people that I've met, and when I need to learn something, I'll either hire someone to help me do it, to teach me, or I'll just learn myself through online videos and tutorials and just observing other people do it. So for podcasting, I just decided I was going to do it and took a chunk of time learning how and made it happen, set some deadlines for myself. And I think that was key in helping me to stick to the deadlines and to really get everything out on time. And that was it. Now it's just flowing.
Intriguing. Now, there's something in the background that I heard on your podcast while listening. I wonder if it's the sea breeze blowing, but it's like a high-pitched song that comes through the mic. Is it the sea breeze? It's right there.
It might be, yeah. I was muting it when you were talking.
Oh, no, you shouldn't mute it. Please, no, don't mute it. It's cool. It gives character. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah.
It might be that, yeah, or just, the jungle itself has noise, so it might be that you're hearing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's probably that. So, all right, give us a backdrop of how you ended up in the forest, please.
Well, I came here for the first time on a surf and yoga trip about 5 years ago and fell in love with the place, with the people, the area, and decided that I wanted to live here. So went back. I was living in LA at the time, went back home and made it my mission to get here. And as an entrepreneur, I tried a few different ways to make that happen and got into some real estate and got some deals going and was able to secure a job, and one thing led to the other, and now I live here full time. So it definitely took a while. It was not easy, and I definitely tell more of the story on the podcast. Obviously, it's hard to tell in this short amount of time, but there's plenty of details about how it happened and all the fun synchronicities. It was a lot of synchronicities and magic, as I like to call it, that came together to help make it a reality.
So after having and seeing all of those, what could appear to be bumps in the road, right? My question, why will you continue to repeat the skill of functioning in that synchronicity?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Yeah, it's a big question, isn't it? Like, I try to simplify that question, but it's really saying why have you made up your mind as to why you will continue to live the life you're living every day, technically?
Yeah, I think for me, it's living in a sense of gratitude and just understanding that, well, first of all, I'm in the right place at the right time, and I've really been given everything that I've asked for through hard work, through showing up, through taking the lessons, learning them, and then putting them into action. So, yeah, definitely. I think there's no other way to live.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Hopefully one day I'll find a way to ask that question differently, but it's definitely a huge question, right? In one sentence. Tell us where we can go to connect with you, or even the podcast.
Yeah, so The podcast is easy. I mean, you can connect with me everywhere on one place. It's RimaTheJungleGirl.com. And my name is spelled Rima. So RimaTheJungleGirl.com. And from there, you can go to /podcast, and that'll take you to the podcast. You can go to /couples retreat. That'll take you to the couples retreat that I have going on. And I'm on Instagram, Rima_Danielle. And of course, you can find me on iTunes and everywhere that podcasts are. It's not difficult to find if you search for Rima the Jungle Girl.
There we go. Well, tell me one other thing that you've done, please, consistently over the last 3 years.
Well, you mean professionally or for fun?
Yeah, let's do fun.
I guess it's kind of both for me in a certain way, because I do what I love. So I've done yoga consistently for the last 3 years, and I ended up getting certified and turning that into business in many different ways. So that could qualify for both, I guess.
How does that make you feel?
Yoga makes me feel amazing. The fact that I get to do what I love is pretty spectacular, and I just try to keep in the knowing of that every day. So acknowledging that I am doing what I love, and not everyone is afforded that luxury, and worked hard to get that. So it's a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, so if you had to talk to that person who is out there in an LA set, if you would, and they definitely have a heart for following what you followed by detaching, right? If you would, at some point, like why would you suggest to them they do what you've done?
Well, I think we all have that tendency, throughout life in some way or another. I'm a marriage and family therapist, so I've seen that a lot. I think it's common, especially in light of what's going on today politically and all the things that we're experiencing. So I would just say if you can turn off the media, the news, the television, all the outside sources that you don't really need to be influencing you, and just tune into your voice and what it is that is calling you, I think you're going to be a lot happier overall and a lot more joyful. So I definitely, for me, it's just the answer,
And there we go, an amazing audience. Again, we are live with Rima Danielle, Jomaa or Jomaa, right? Definitely my accent there. Well, she is the podcast host of Rima the Jungle Girl, right? Yeah, I got that correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We talk about all kinds of stuff too. So it's vegan lifestyle, yoga, travel, all things that I consider myself to be an expert in, and entrepreneur stuff as well, because it's something the entrepreneur path is one I've been on for a little bit of time now. So it's pretty fun.
There we go. Well, Rima, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Rima, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Let's see. That's a good question. Definitely one that's funny. I was pretty young. I was just on the floor in my living room, hanging out on the couch, actually, just hanging out with my family. I was about 2 years old, 2.5.
Wow. So you're 2 years old, 2.5 years old. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
Probably because I felt cozy and comfortable, and we were all together. So probably just when I started coming to consciousness.
Intriguing. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Sure.
I love the idea that Rima is that person and has stayed connected to that person, not only the quiet, reflective person, but from what I've gathered from the conversation, of course, but also the person who understands the value of family and is definitely helping other families. You said you're a marriage family therapist. Through that quietness, if you would, that reflection that you experienced as that child. That's pretty fascinating.
Oh, thank you. Are you a therapist as well?
I am not a therapist, I'll tell you.
There might be something there. You never know.
I love connecting dots. I can tell you that is definitely what I love doing. If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
Ooh, probably, let's see, 12 years old. Probably something by No Doubt, Just a Girl.
Yeah. It's funny how these things connect, right? Definitely, no doubt. It's necessary, right? Like, you had no doubt you needed to be in Costa Rica, right?
That's very true, yes. It's one of the first CDs I got, and maybe that stuck with me.
Yeah. Intriguing. Well, Rima, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Rima, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
All right. Are you married?
I have a partner, yes.
Do you have children?
No.
Do you believe in God?
Yes.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Probably yes.
What about screen time, the phone and or the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Less.
Rima, after having 1,001 conversations in 3 months in 2016, I came up with a workbook. The name of it is called Yours. It stands for Your Own Unique Real Self. And the idea is you answer questions that create reflection that then connects you to your mission, as I term your own unique real statement. I would like to know if you had to share with us your own unique real statement, a statement that represents Rima Danielle Jomaa. What would you say that is?
Ooh, that's a good question. Putting me on the spot. Let's see. I would definitely say for people and for myself, it's kind of what I was alluding to earlier. As long as you can tune out the voices of everyone else, listen to your inner voice, and do what it is that you want to do, not what anyone else wants for you, then you will be able to live your life's purpose.
There we go. Well, Rima, this has been a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
That's it. I look forward to connecting if anyone wants to reach out, and hope everyone has a great evening.
Rima Danielle Jomaa, thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.